Not anything important.
In the consent agenda?
Yes,
Okay, you didn't know talking during the consent agenda?
that's why. It's not even a question I really had. I just had to.
Right?
Because it had.
Nope.
Okay.
It's not anything relevant to
Oh,
any
okay.
of it. And I'm okay with it. I just
Here
had.
last week, but
Oh, it was a
Teresa
practice.
Hey, Mr. Kevin, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
I'm good.
I can ask later. It's not a.
Did you get the, did she send you a new resolution?
Which one you want?
On the.
This one.
Property, it's on the consent
We
agenda.
started in 2 minutes. You don't need it. You don't need
I'll
it.
double check right now.
2 feet of that property, did she send it new?
Sounds good? Good, all right.
Oh. The email. I didn't open it. I
Okay,
didn't open it
yeah.
today.
I'll just mention it, I think.
I'll open it right now. Got it.
Did you get it?
Yep. Updated. Yep.
Got the right number on it? No, you'd
That's the
have to,
notice. That's the
have to
notice.
go to the agenda item, in the consent agenda.
1 minute.
I think I got it. Come on.
Close enough. All right, meeting is called to order at 6 o'clock. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We are, of course, being broadcast live on Van Buren Television. We're also on YouTube, and we'll be up for quite a while on that. Deputy Clerk Beaudry, could you call the roll?
Trustee Kelly?
Here.
Trustee Frazier is absent, excused.
Yes.
Trustee Boynton? Here. Trustee Martin?
Here.
All right, Clerk Wright is excused. Treasurer Bud?
Here?
And Supervisor McNamara?
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Today, we have our usual consent agenda. The consent agenda has our meeting minutes, prepaid lists, basically paying our everyday bills like heat and electricity. It's consent because everybody agrees to pay them, so we all just agree to have one vote for all of those. We move on to the fact that we have new business, which includes discussion on an agreement with the MEDC to provide funding to complete a marketing plan. We got a grant to do that, which is, always like to get grants. And a discussion on the proposal from McKenna Associates. They're going to discuss how to do that. We're also going to have discussion on the selection of Fishbeck Engineering for the Wild Brook Pump Station construction. We're upgrading our sanitary. And I think that's about it. It's going to be a short meeting, I suspect. Okay. Can I get adoption or the approval of the agenda?
I make a motion, we adopt the agenda as presented.
Support.
I have a motion by Treasurer Bud, support by Trustee Kelly. Hearing no discussion. All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Next item is adoption of the consent agenda.
To the supervisor, before that motion is made, I'd just like to make a note that on item number 9, the resolution 2023-03 had the wrong parcel number. It should be 83. Yeah, but not everybody got it that would have had it otherwise. Anyway, the parcel number is 83, where it originally went out as 89.
Okay. Thank you. I have a motion by Treasurer Bud with a slight confirmation. Can I get a support?
Support. What was that again?
Yeah, I don't think we have a motion for anything. No, I just wanted to make a comment. about
Oh,
that one
sorry.
item.
Okay.
That's okay.
All right, you're right, you're right.
No support.
I need an adoption of the consent agenda.
That's what you need.
Yeah. Okay. Trustee Boynton,
Okay, for the consent agenda, I move that we accept the following: work study minutes and the closed session minutes, meeting minutes, the board meeting minutes, all of February 21st, the prepaid list of February 23rd and March the 2nd, and the voucher list of March the 7th, all of 2023. Approval of a subrecipient agreement for community development block grant funding between the township and Wayne County for senior services. Approval of amendment to the previously approved Metro Act permit for Crown Castle to allow them to expand their fiber network in the township. Approval of Resolution 2023-03, transferring 2 feet of the west section of township-owned property at 45,581 Ecorse to the neighboring property owner at 45,667 Ecorse. Approval of the appointment of Jeffrey Jarr as the primary Planning Commission liaison and Brian Culling as the secondary Planning Commission liaison to the Board of Zoning Appeals with terms to expire October 1st of 2024.
Support.
thank you. I have support from Trustee Martin. Hearing no discussion, I have a motion by Trustee Boynton. I have support from Trustee Martin. Hearing no further discussion. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Move on to the next item, which is a public hearing. We have none. We're now into correspondence, announcements, and presentations. I'm going to do the announcements, and I think we have a group here, the Hall Neighborhood Watch Group, and I think that would fit into a presentation. There's 218 people that are represented by that group in our community to the south of the river, south of the lake, and I'd love to hear from them. But let me go through a few announcements that I think that are noteworthy that should be brought up. And the first one is, those of you that have been hanging out for the last 6 years found out that 6 years ago we have an OPEB, retiree medical liability. It started at $29 million and was almost insurmountable. We began funding it. We just got word that we are now 37.5% funded. When we hit 40% funded, we are no longer on the state watch list. There are not very many communities that can tell that are funded over 40%. It's pretty rarity. This is amazing. Our plan was 40 years, I believe. It was a 40-year plan to get to 40%. And in just 5 years, we're almost at 40%. We should be there next year. The board did it by changing medical health care, stopping going forward, lifetime medical health care for all retirees. We also basically paid down every year $125,000. And then we double booked, instead of using money out of the fund to pay retiree health care, we paid it out of our general fund. Taking all those things into consideration has quickly advanced this, and we did pretty good with some of our investments too, so that helped. Thank you, Treasurer. I also want to say, we just approved a CDBG grant for $20,000 for seniors. Static last week, 2 weeks ago, we got a $490,000 grant from the federal government. I think it was $390,000 of it was ours, so it comes out to about $490,000. And that is going to be so that we can go through our entire roadway system and find out where we need to improve traffic safety, straighten roads out, put traffic signals up that are right way, put roads up, do all those things, it'll provide all the engineering to complete all those tasks. And in the long run, after all that's done, that engineering will allow us to go after grants to actually do that, to get grants to do things like widen Belleville Road and to put sidewalks in and to put up street lights that we need in certain areas. So it's pretty exciting that we got that grant, and we had a workforce meeting on that, and I have so many people to thank here. I mean, there's Ron and Mary Colburn is new here, but she's obviously really up to speed on that stuff, and Dan Power's been instrumental in that. Larry Luckett's been working on those things. But it amazes me, I really know when people are getting grants in their mind. When I get a grant from Steve Rankin, Steve doesn't go after grants at all. Steve got $50,000. We had what was it, $100,000 for over 3 years for our cybersecurity stuff, where we have automatic backups every night. It goes into the cloud. He went out and got a grant. We just got $50,000 from MMRMA. So we'll say that, you know, Clerk Wright had probably put in a good word for it, but you know, he applied for it and got it. So I have to say thank you to him. And it just keeps on coming in, more and more grants every week. I also have to bring up the museum town hall. We are having a museum town hall meeting. It is scheduled for March 16th at 6 p.m. at the Belleville Area District Library. And I'd love it if everybody here came. We have a garbage town hall meeting, which is coming up on March 13th at 6 o'clock. The weather caused postponement, so that's why they're so close together. The purpose of the garbage town hall meeting will be to discuss the results of our solid waste bids, and also discuss the results of the survey, to discuss what a timeline for transition, and any thoughts anybody has on those issues. Anybody that wants to give us some ideas. We're always better off when we bring everything out in the open. Every plan we've ever done this with, we've ended up with a better plan at the end of the day when we brought it out to the public. I also have to congratulate Adam Byrd. Officer Adam Byrd has just been appointed to the State Board of the POLC, which is the legislative council for the police officers. It's a highly important, it's a highly sought after job. It's a very prestigious job. In this position, Officer Byrd will be responsible for the safety and the livelihood of I believe they have 400 agencies underneath them. So it's a big group. I'm impressed that he got it, and I don't know how he got it, but he did great. That should be enough. Does anybody else have what's that? The bridge. Okay, so I was notified. We told everybody that we're going. We got $7 million thanks to Reggie Miller, and we're very happy. We then went back to Reggie and told her we needed $3 to $4 million more. So we're not done. So at any rate, she has contacted me this week. Camilleri's contacted me this week. Our consultant, our lobbyist, has contacted me. He seems to call within 60 seconds after her, so I know he's up on all this stuff. We're getting $10 million. So $10 million for the bridge now from the state. We also have $1.8 million that we have a letter stating we were going to receive for Iron Belt Trail. So we've got $1.8 million coming for that. And the county has agreed that any overages over $10 million that they will pick up. So we should be good for building the bridge. So good work.
Sure, I have an announcement.
Okay.
As you know, the tax season ended on February the 28th. And of course, we could not receive any taxes after that date, but I would like to tell you that our taxes are balanced. My deputy has sent them. They're on the way to Wayne County, and we balance to the penny, which I would like to thank him for his hard work, along with my two staff members, Kathy Adams and Jessica Sovich. I've got a great staff, and they've done a great job getting this tax season wrapped up.
Okay. We still actually have $1 million grant out there for that bridge that we have not been, it's private, that we're hoping to get, but who knows? I love it. Thank you, directors, Kevin Lawrence, Larry Lockett. I mean, these guys are all going after grants all the time. Dan Selman, brings them in all the time. The opioid money is starting to come in. Thank you. Does anybody else want to make a comment before we do a presentation? No. Wayne, step up there. Wayne Cherry is the head of the Hall Road, officially, what is the group called?
Whole Road and surrounding neighborhood. I'm the neighborhood coordinator. Last October, we started the Neighborhood Watch with Officer Byrd. He's a busy guy. Mr. Jim Downey was one of the founding fathers. He's the police liaison now. So we started out, we had about 12 members, and we thought, oh, that's about as big as we'll get, and we're 218 hunting block captains now to cover all them people. So we're very proud of our police department for working in hand with us. Officer Bird's come to my house more than once, sitting down and discussing stuff to get the neighborhood watch up and going. Chief Wright has been very supportive of our agenda, and so I come before y'all tonight to kind of brag about the police department, the job they're doing, but we need a little help. We're looking to try to get some neighborhood watch signs. I've got Ahern signs over in Belleville to agree to make them for $40 a piece. And then the posted cost about $20 a piece, and we're looking for 10 signs. So that's the main reason we're here tonight.
So normally, this is the outside of the parameters that the board would allow me to do. So I asked Mr. Chair if he'd like to come to our meeting and make that request, and if the board allowed me to spend that money, I wouldn't need a vote. I just need to know that you guys will allow it, because I can spend up to, I don't know, $1,000, $10,000 with your permission. So the idea is basically you've got 218 people coming together. They'd like to put up some signs. They'd also like to put up a couple speed signs, but we'll talk to the county about that. Do you have a problem with that? Or
No,
discussion?
I think it looks to me like it's a good cause, and thank you, gentlemen, for what you're doing for your neighborhood.
I got a, this is what the sign will look like if y'all want to pass it around.
Okay.
All right, thank you for your consideration. Thank you.
Okay, you're gonna have to get with me on that sign, okay? Because the wording and everything's gotta be approved
Yeah.
by the county. I mean, putting up the signs is not a problem, they're not gonna give me a problem with it, but
I'll schedule something with Hannah.
yeah, okay. All right, and we'll also work on those speed signs. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Sir.
I'd just like to make a comment on that, and I'm just wondering if you have reached out to the HOAs and some of the subdivisions. I think we have a list of those HOAs and their contact information to see if they would be interested in joining in on this great cause.
I could reach out to the ones that, I believe Clerk Wright is over the list of the HOAs.
I contact my office, we've taken it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But, yeah, and here's this area is actually down, he didn't bring it up, it's down,
I don't think there's any HOAs down
it's
there.
Martinsville Road, goes past Sumter Road on Hall Road. He's got the real rural areas, there's really not any HOAs
No, I'm
there.
saying about the other HOAs in the township.
Oh, see if they want signs?
See if they want to participate in his plan and help him organize.
I'm sorry, I didn't get
If
that.
that's what they want to do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Idea.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Mr. Cherry.
Comment? Nope. Thank you so very much. You guys probably don't want to hang around, but you're welcome to. And thank you too. I know that we spoke a lot about you today. We had lunch today to talk about this. Yeah. And we have a grocery list. I can tell you, I drove down there. I heard there was a blighted community down there. There was the housing blight. And he knows the house I'm thinking about. And there was another house down the road from that house. Other than that, there were no houses. Those houses were immaculate. I couldn't get over how nice they were. Turns out neighbors, just go over there and talk to them. Hey, clean your yard up, And there's just enough of them that there's just peer pressure and love, and who needs cops when you can talk neighbor to neighbor, which is great. Thank you. Okay, moving on. What's that? Public comment. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to comment on anything that's coming out today? All right, unfinished business, we have none. New business. First line item is the discussion on to consider approval of an agreement between the township and the MEDC to provide funding. Can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair,
Trustee?
make a motion, we approve the agreement between the township and the MEDC to provide funding to complete a marketing plan and economic development strategy.
Support.
Kelly. Director Akers?
Good evening. Sorry about that. Good evening. Before you is an agreement for the MEDC to provide the township a technical assistant grant. The MEDC offers these technical assistant grants to communities who are participating in the Redevelopment Ready Communities Program, in which the township is a participant. We've requested this grant to help develop two of the larger outstanding projects required by the Redevelopment Ready Communities Program. These projects are the Economic Development Strategy document and a marketing plan. The Economic Development Strategy is a document that provides a structure and direction for economic development efforts. It is a written document which outlines goals and objectives and identifies strengths, opportunities, and local assets to help the township be more strategic with our efforts. I have included in the packet the MEDC guide for this document for reference, which gives a more complete summarization. A marketing plan is a plan to promote and offer information about the community assets, attributes, and economic opportunity. It's also required by the RRC program, and I have included the summary document in the packet as well. The grant award is for $11,250, and it will require a $3,750 match, which will be paid out of the Planning and Economic Development budget. The township has requested a proposal from McKenna & Associates, which is actually the next agenda item, to provide these services, which has been reviewed and pre-approved by the MEDC. This grant agreement has been reviewed and approved by the township attorney, and this concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any questions the boards may have.
So we started the Redevelopment Ready Community pathway a long time ago. In fact, that was Elizabeth Renault's first job, I believe, was to start working on that. And we use that system for everything we do. We run surveys, we do our open houses, it's very instrumental. But as Mary Colburn showed me today, she did theirs for Romulus, it's also a pathway to getting more money for small businesses in the form of grants, correct? And so we were already trying to she's identified $25,000 potentially in grants that we could get for small businesses. So it'd be nice to see that happen. Any other questions? No. Okay. I have a motion by Trustee Martin, supported by Trustee Kelly. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Director. Next item is a discussion on to consider approval of McKenna Associates to complete an economic development strategy plan. Can I get a motion?
Through the chair.
Trustee Kelly?
I would move to approve the proposal from McKenna and Associates to complete an economic development strategic plan and marketing plan.
Support.
Director Akers?
Thank you. So before you is a proposal with our planning consultant to complete as we specified before, the economic development strategy and marketing plan for the MEDC's RRC program. The scope of work is broken down in the agreement. As we specified before, the total cost of the project is $15,000, with $11,250 of it being funded by the MEDC grant, with a township match of $3,750. In short, that concludes my summary, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
You approved the money in, now we're putting the money out to do some good. Okay. Hearing no discussion, I have a motion by Trustee Kelly. It's supported by Treasurer Bud. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Discussion on to consider approval of the selection of Fishbeck Engineering for the Wildbrook Pump Station. Can I get a motion? Trustee Martin.
I move to approve the selection of Fishbeck Engineering for Wildbrook Pump Station construction administration fees in the amount not to exceed $22,200 from the Capital Outlay Sewer Fund 592-537-971-004.
Support.
Thank you. Director Lawrence.
Good evening, Board. In December 6, 2022, open bids, we had 4 bids for the replacement of the Wildbrook Pump Station. The low bid was recognized to be TSP Environmental in the amount of $279,225. December the 20th, 2022, this board selected TSP as the recognized low bid. So this agreement with Fishbeck would allow them to oversee the project. This lift station was put in 1996. It's already failing, so with this replacement and Fishbeck overseeing it, it would allow them to change the pump phase from 1-phase to 3-phase system, submersible pumps. So with that being said, I recommend we approve this agreement for Fishbeck to oversee this project.
Okay. Any questions? What happens when a lift station pump fails?
Basement's back up.
Okay. All right. And the rest of our lift stations are in great shape, right? They're not, tell me.
We have 14 of them, and I would say there's 2 more that I'm going to schedule in the next 2 years to have them rebuilt. North Shores and Beckley would be the next ones on the list.
Typically, when it rains, we take the Vector out to some of these lift stations.
Yes, if they don't keep up, we will Vector them out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not what we should be doing, having to depend on a Vector to keep our basements dry.
That's correct.
We have a good system, it's just, we're, so we're gonna fix those problems. Any other questions?
I have one question, through
Sure.
the chair. So, Mr. Lawrence, you said you're gonna go from a 1-phase to a 3-phase. You're talking about the electrical,
Yes,
so the 3-phase motor be more powerful and able to
keep up, yes.
keep up better?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Bills? Okay, I've got a motion by trustee Martin, supported by trustee Boynton. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Director. Reports, we have none. We are again at public comment for non-agenda items. Is there anybody from the public wishing to speak now? No? Board comments. Does anybody from the board want to speak on any items they'd like? Can I get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Boynton, Martin. I have a motion by Boynton, supported by trustee Martin. Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. This is getting amazing.